You are all aware that this is a local wool stan account, right? Great, because I have once again gone local for local wool. I've gone and picked up 4 fleeces of Blue Texel. They were offered for free. However, I am of the mind that the fact that our local wool is being offered for free is actually not a good thing, because this means that there is no monetary value to our wool. Yeah, you know. It either gets burned, incinerated, thrown away, used as insulation, or to fertilize your garden. There is no value in our local wool. While it is absolutely gorgeous wool, it is... I cannot state loudly enough that our local wool here in Belgium and the Netherlands is gorgeous and we don't use it enough. So I wasn't going to take 4 fleeces for free. No, I made a trade offer. The owner of the Blue Texel sheep is a knitter. She doesn't spin, but she does knit. So you see the idea, you see the trade offer. Yes, of course we are going to spin her some yarn so she can knit the yarn from her own sheep. Let's see, how much of this fleece can we get in our scouring pot? Will you just look at this gorgeous natural color? You know, the reason why I got this was one of my patrons showed the fleeces she got from the Maryland Wool and Sheep Festival, and they were such beautiful natural colors. And then I saw this ad passing by on my Facebook homepage, and I was like, yeah, I'm just going to get it same day. I don't even care what breed of sheep this is. Let's get it. No regrets. You want to spin a decent amount for the owner of the sheep, of course, that she can like at least make a scarf or a hat, or I don't know, a good enough quantity. Oops. I feel like, yeah, let's add some water to this. Ooh, that's some lanolin water. I think I'm just going to drain this water off before we are actually going to start the warm bath. Just this cold soak first, because oh my god, this is brown. Let's take a look at our witch's brew. Yeah, there still did come a lot of lanolin off this fleece. Let's rinse it out once again. If you know a reason why I might be talking so dramatically, I would love to hear it, because I don't know. I have put our gorgeously colored fleece on the table over here, but I don't think I'll be able to dry it outside for very long, because Belgian spring doesn't know how to spring, and it looks like it's going to rain. Anyway, all the bits of drying it can do right now, yeah, we're going to take advantage of those and then probably take it inside. But just look at this color. Gorgeous, and this feels so soft. This is going to be such a dream to spin. I believe the Blue Texel fleece is dry, so can't run because I tore my ligament, but face plant. This is soft. I want to sleep. Now, for the preparation of this fiber before the spinning, we are once again turning towards our Woolmaker's giant drum cutter. I feel like this is the perfect tool for the task because of all the different colors that are in this fleece, and then they get nicely blended, smoothed out, and I don't know, I just want a scrumptious, delicious batt that I can just... Yeah, I'm sitting down because I just told you I tore a ligament in my ankle because my ankles are stupidly weak. Lately I've been following, or well, doing my own version of drum carding the way Tashi from Stitches and Starlight taught on their channel. And at first when I saw their video, I was like, oh my god, that's so much work, I don't have the patience. Like 3 passes, going slow on your carder. But I've been doing it now for the last couple of times that I used my drum carder, and my batts are much better for it, and it's such a mindful experience as well. I'm so present in the moment, present with this fiber. I love it. I'm going to link Tashi's video about how they do their prep, their carding on their, well, it must be set electrical carder, and I just have to crank it because I think it's really useful and you all will learn from it. Anyway, we're now going for a 3rd pass on this batt, and it's already bounce. The bounce, the soft, the air. Not to be entirely philosophical over here, but the fact that I used this method that Tashi, a spinner from Brooklyn, posted online, and I am here in Belgium. I don't know, I'm talking all this about local wool and internet, and the spinners community have put an entirely new definition to local production of wool. Like, I could not be doing this if I hadn't listened to someone literally on the other end of the world. Like, our spinners community has grown so big. And this also makes it sometimes a little bit tricky to talk about local wool, because every time I say, oh no, our local wool is being replaced by New Zealand and Australian merino, there are New Zealanders and Australians that say, hey, but that's our local wool. And I'm like, yeah, you're right. But I'm in Belgium. You see, it's getting weird to talk about wool in a spinners community that is relatively small. Like, we're niche. Accept this, we are niche. But we're global. We're like a super small local community on the internet, but we're global. I don't even know if this was a comprehensive speech. That's how much it has puzzled my brain. Anyway, let's get back to being in the moment, being mindful with this batt, and I'll show you what it looks like after 3 passes, because it's going to be delicious. So, 2 of these triple carded batts. I noticed that not everything in my fleece is already entirely dry, so I'm just going to start spinning on this, let the rest dry, and then make more batts. They're so soft that I cannot show you on camera how soft this is, but it's going to be amazing yarn. I know from this that this is going to be some hacking amazing yarn. Oh, I still can't believe that this was actually posted for free, and it's super clean. I actually almost skirted nothing. Let's get spinning. Well, Christine, you will have to move. You already have a project on you. You will need to make some place for, I think we're going to go with Rachel. It's been a while that we spun on Rachel, right? Yeah, blah, 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 blah. Shoe off, apron on, let's do this! Don't fall on the ground. Oh my god, this is the first batt entirely spun up on a bobbin, entirely spun up on a bobbin. Going to put the second one on a second bobbin and then ply them together, but oh my god, this color, my friends. It's exceedingly, extremely gorgeous. And I know I've been throwing with the superlatives all video, but it's just that I have been working with a lot of dyed wool lately, and now seeing this natural wool, yeah, I'm in my natural wool phase right now. It might go to a dyed wool phase next month or something, but this is doing something, friends. This is doing something to me. Oh yes, this is doing something. This is so gorgeous, and I'm getting so many ideas. Like, this is a particularly dark fleece, but I also have a lighter fleece. Like, oh, make dark yarn, make light yarn, make a colorwork sweater or something. How amazing would that be, just the two different shades of Blue Texel? All the ideas, they are growing, they are growing. Ho, 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 my brain is not big enough for all the ideas. So I have been raving about the color of this Blue Texel, and that is exactly the purpose of Blue Texel. Blue Texel, I'm saying it wrong, it's Texel, even though there's an X. Blue Texel. So the color is the purpose of the Blue Texel, because in all other qualities, it doesn't differ from normal Texel wool. It's medium grade wool, it's soft, shiny, very insulating, but Blue Texel is blue. And this is a normal color variation that was actually just ignored until the 1970s approximately, when one farmer, well, on Texel, noticed, well, I have a blue ram. What would happen if I kept on breeding with this blue ram, and then also with blue sheep from neighboring farmers, and that's what it did. And then since the 1970s, we have Blue Texel, which is primarily just bred for the color, because Texel sheep mainly are meat sheep, not wool sheep. But I mean, the wool is of high enough quality to be a semi-wool sheep, if you get what I mean. But Blue Texel is just bred for the color alone, and I mean, you see why? You see why? Now, as is the case with local sheep, Texel sheep were put on the endangered at-risk list in 2023. They were not at risk in 2007, but they are now. And that makes me a little bit sad, but also a little bit angry and rebellious. Like, why are they endangered? Does it have to do with monetary gain? With wool not being valued around our countries? Well. It could very well be. But for now, let's enjoy this beautiful Blue Texel that we have. It's time to ply these two beauties together, and we'll have a first skein yarn for our owner of sheep. I don't know, she's not a shepherd, she's not a farmer, she just has 4 sheep, so she's an owner of sheep. First skein for our owner of sheep. It's coming up. Right now, somewhere. An approximate 175 meters fresh of the niddy noddy. I don't know if the camera picks up all the different shades that are in here. This is truly gorgeous. There are some light grays, some almost blacks, little bits of browns. Much squish, of course, that's what we want, that's what we like. Well, I don't know what the intended knitter will like, but I like much squish. I hope she does too. Let's give it a nice soaking, a little bit of wet setting, and then we can continue with the rest of that piece of fleece. Art thou sufficiently dry now? And not everything. Most of it. We can probably make a couple more batts. Let's do that. Let's do that. Now, I've been talking about local wool and how it's no longer monetary interesting to have local wool instead of just importing all the nice, very fancy bred merino and all the other super luxurious breeds and then not look at our own sheep because they're mainly medium grade wool. And then maybe there could be the question, Jente, you didn't like actually pay money for this wool either. Aren't you being like slightly hypocritical? Well, maybe just only slightly, but firstly, that would have made quite a boring video. Secondly, if I just gave money, then that's the end of the transaction. Right now, I am making yarn. That yarn will go back to the owner of the sheep and she will probably knit something with it, of which she might be very proud and tell all the people she knows, look, this is from the sheep I own. And everybody will be like, wow, you've got some good sheep then. And maybe, just maybe, doing it like this might slowly increase demand for local wool. I don't know, it's maybe a utopia that I'm thinking about, but if people get acquainted with local wool a lot more, they might want local wool as well. I've seen on social media and, you know, just the internet in general, that there are a lot more regional startups working with wool here in Belgium. Like, that's great. We have 2 mills right now. When I started this channel, we only had 1, so we doubled in wool mills. That's amazing. And there's also other startups like Black Wool and Mole Wool that are trying to make something with our local wool. And this is a very, very recent change. And I am supporting the change. Oh, so much. And I think if we can get like normal people to like encounter local wool in very casual ways, like the woman who I'm now spinning the yarn for, maybe wearing a shawl and being like, oh my god, I made this with the wool of my own sheep. I'm hoping that it can start something. Also that my videos over here are starting something, not only in Belgium, but wherever in the world that you are. Entrepreneurial people that want to start something, local wool is where it's at. I'm giving you very good entrepreneurial advice. Yes, believe me. We made 4 more batts. Let's spin 2 more skeins maybe? And yes, new glasses, thank you. If this setup looks a little bit cramped, that's because it is. I'm going to show you, going to turn you around for a moment. Our studio has flooded yesterday because of all the rain, so now everything is here. I can't really like leave my spot very much. Thank you, weather gods. But anyway, that doesn't deter me from spinning this absolutely beautiful, gorgeous, lustrous soft fiber. We are many hours and 3 skeins later. I will show you some pretty shots of these magnificent grey skeins later. But first I want to talk to you about some weighing, some measuring and some calculations that I've done. First off, because I want to make nice labels for the woman I'm spinning this for so that she knows what projects she can use this for. I tried out Tiny Fiber Studio's grist calculator and all 3 of them are DK weight. However, the first one I spun is a little bit thicker because this comes out at a grist measurement of 219 meters per 100 grams, and both of these come around at 250 meters per 100 grams, so they're slightly thinner. This one, as I have said before, is approximately 175 meters and weighs 80 grams. This one is approximately 150 meters and weighs 60 grams. This one is 230 meters approximately and weighs, well, 90 grams, or Everything is rather approximately because I don't have very good scales, and I don't also know like the exact to the 3-point decimal or something measurement of my niddy noddy, so I take everything like rounded off and write circa. I also did some other measurements. Because I didn't want to receive these fleeces for free, I calculated how much these would be worth in money if we counted the hours that I worked on it. I estimated that I did 3 hours of prepping, which is both the scouring and the carding. And I have worked 3 full-time, full job days on spinning. So 3 times approximately 8 hours. So 3 9-to-5 days on spinning, which is 24 hours. That makes a total of 27 hours. I first multiplied that by the average hourly wages that we get here in Belgium, and the average hourly wage in Belgium is 20.92 euros per hour. That would mean, if you all agree that I should be paid an average wage, that this yarn that I'm holding in my hands right now, that you have seen me work on for the past however many minutes this video is long, is worth 564 euros and 84 cents. 564 euros and 84 cents. Now, if you think, no, Jente, you're not worth average wage, let's go minimum wage, then we're still getting at a minimum wage of 12.33 euros per hour, a value of 332 euros and 91 cents. And now you know why I don't sell my yarn. Now, whether we take 564 or 332, do you think that is a fair price for 4 fleeces? Please discuss in the comments. What is a fair price for fleeces? And then you do have to keep in mind that these fleeces that I get mostly aren't like specifically bred for their wool. They aren't skirted beforehand. They aren't necessarily super clean. They just come off a sheep that is technically a lawnmower with a heartbeat. An interesting point of comparison would be, in fact, how much does it cost to keep a sheep for a year? And I couldn't find like definitive concrete data points for that. There are some that said like around $75 or between $100 and $300, and some ones even said $1,000. And that was for like agricultural sheep, so sheep that were raised for meat or dairy, mostly meat. It probably differs much when it is a pet sheep. There might be more or less regulations depending on what the function of your sheep is. But we have created, as of now, some 250, I don't know, give or take, grams of yarn for a knitter. I think that I, as a knitter that coincidentally also had sheep, would be quite happy with 250 grams of spun yarn of their own sheep. 250 grams of DK weight yarn. You can't make an entire sweater out of it, but like a vest is in the possibilities. Yeah, I think this is a nice quantity to send to the owner of the sheep. That's what I feel personally, but I do encourage you to continue the conversation down in the comment section. And now let's get to the pretty shot of this yarn, because you want it, I want it, we all want it. If you want to see me get loco over more local wool, and if you like these kind of fiber shenanigans, then maybe you could like, comment or subscribe. But of course that is all up to you. And as for me, I will see you in a next video. But before we do that, maybe here are some more spinning videos. Bye!